Guys, this case opens like a routine child support review, but listen closely because the pressure builds fast. What you're hearing isn't complaining, it's confusion mixed with shock, the kind a lot of parents feel when numbers suddenly change without warning.
The recommendation would have the defendant paying $872 child support, $53 ordinary medical, for a total of $925 for 2 children.
All right, and sir, you objected to that?
Yes, Your Honor, I do.
All right, what's the reason for objecting?
All right, I prepared a statement if I can read, if that's okay.
All right.
All right, Whitney and I separated in September of 2018, and I moved from the home in Fremont and basically lived in my office where I had been working as a bail bondsman since January of 2016. During this time, I was making decent money. And since I was living in my office, I was still paying all of Whitney's bills, her mortgage, utilities, car payment. I did this because I knew she would need time to get on her feet and didn't want my children and her other 4 children to possibly lose their home. While living in my office, I would drive up every other Saturday I was off work to see my boys in her home while she would run errands or just have alone time for herself. In March of 2019, I got an apartment in Comstock Park and informed her that I could no longer afford to pay all of her bills as I now had bills of my own. However, I did still pay some of her bills in lieu of child support as we had not been court ordered as at that time. I would drive up to Fremont Saturday morning and bring my boys to my apartment and return them to their mother on Sunday nights every other weekend. We had a custody/child support hearing in February of 2020. And that is where child support was established at $495 a month. And we agreed to determine visitation schedule on our own. That has never been an issue between us. As we all know, COVID-19 happened in March of 2020 and the stay-at-home orders began. I was furloughed from my employment and was told to file for unemployment to survive. Our boys are both immunocompromised, so I stayed at home and only left to pick up my boys for visitation. This time I would get them 3 weekends in a row, and then 1 weekend they would stay with their mother. Child support was still paid and has not been an issue until this 3-year review. My bail bonds job never called me to come back. And in August of 2021, I started working at My Prime Logistics, which is a delivery partner for Amazon. However, my work schedule was Wednesday through Sunday. So Whitney and I changed my visitation schedule to Monday morning to Tuesday evening. In July of 2022, our boys were finally getting ready to start school for the first time. Since I had been at my job almost a year, they allowed me to switch my work schedule to Monday through Friday, so I could get our boys on Saturday morning to Sunday evening again. This schedule also allowed Whitney to work on the weekends that I had our boys while able to work while they were in school during the week. During this time, on top of child support, I was still paying some of her bills.
Years of financial support, sacrifices made quietly, and decisions driven by protecting the kids, not paperwork. This is where viewers start realizing that child support cases aren't just about monthly numbers, but about everything that happened long before a judge ever got involved.
I paid off the 2009 GMC Yukon that she drives to this day. It was in my name, but I knew this was her only mode of transportation. I signed over the title to her last month, April 2nd, 2023, to have her get it and to put in her name with her own insurance. So I wasn't paying that anymore. We do have a phone plan together in her name that I also have been paying, but our phones are paid off at the end of next month, and I will be getting my own plan at that time. The internet at her house is in my name, but she has been paying that on her own. I've been trying to get all of our finances separated this year. In February of this year, I moved into my girlfriend's house as my rent skyrocketed to $995 a month at the apartment. The rent, utilities, car payment, insurance, plus a couple of Whitney's bills were taking a huge financial toll on me. I pay half the bills where I live now, but it's a much bigger place. Then I received the 3-year child support review paperwork. I sent in my check stubs and paperwork as requested. Then I was flabbergasted to see that the recommendation was to raise my child support from $498 a month to $925 a month. Currently, I gross $800 a week. After taxes, medical insurance, and current child support, I clear roughly $500 a week. That gives me just enough to pay my half of rent, utilities, other household necessities, plus my car payment and insurance. If my child support almost doubles, it will put a huge financial strain on me. I have no issue at all paying child support. That's what non-custodial parents do. But I have to be able to afford my bills as well. I make less now as opposed to 3 years ago. So I'm simply curious as to why I'm expected to pay so much.
All right, thank you. Ms. Evan, what income did you use for Mr. Hergenreder?
He provided me the information of $20 an hour. So I used $20 an hour for 40 hours.
Is that right, sir?
That is correct.
All right. So that's about 800 a week?
Correct.
All right. What were you making before when you worked for the bail bondsman?
I started with a base pay of 15, and then you basically get commission based on how many people you bond out of jail.
Oh, okay. Oh, really? Okay. So the overnights that were used before, you got credit for 53 overnights, it looks like, in that calculation in 2019. Ms. Evan, how many did you use currently?
I used the same. Whitney reported that she had 329. And Carl reported he had 52. Of course, that adds up to more than 365. So I looked at the November 2019 order and I used that information of 312 for mom and 53 for dad.
All right, sir, have your overnights changed in the last three or 4 years?
The math comes out, income gets compared, and the system begins reducing years of effort into formulas. If you've ever wondered how quickly stability can turn into stress when calculations change, this section explains it without yelling, without drama, just pressure, building one number at a time.
It can change from time to time. Like if I have an extra day off for a holiday, then obviously I would like to spend more time with my kids. But with the hour drive difference and them being in school now and my work schedule, it's hard to stay set in a certain day. But her and I have never had an issue as far as parenting time and what we agree upon. We're free to change it if need be. We discussed that a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's, so you were running at 500 a week before, so your income's gone up about 300 a week. So that's part of the calculation. Overnights are a big part of the calculation, and I mean, honestly, 53 is not that many. That's, basically 1 out of 7 per week if you average it out over the year. A lot of non-custodial parents, if they have what we call reasonable parenting time, and we have a policy that defines that, they have every other weekend, they have half of the holidays, half of the school breaks, including half the summer. They're usually run at 102, which is about twice what you're being run at. And if they can add the Sundays in on their weekends during the school year and still get the kids to school on time, then that's 120 some. That really helps reduce the child support obligation. So that's a factor. So I guess that's probably, the reason that your support has gone up is because you have $300 per week more income than you had last time it was run. I don't know if her income has changed at all, but the overnights have remained static, and it's pretty low compared to what we see a lot of the time. Did you actually go through your calendar and count up how many you had over the last year, or on average over the last 3 or 4 years?
I have not actually grabbed a calendar and looked. It's just how it's been since her and I split up almost 5 years ago.
All right, you don't have any extended time in the summer where you take them for a week at a time, or you don't have half of the Christmas break or anything like that one?
I'm always at work Monday through Friday.
Yeah. I don't know. That might be something to look into. Is having a more consistent schedule that included more overnights.
Okay.
I don't want to, deter you from making a better wage, because, you certainly do. And, even if your support went up $300 or $400 a month, you're still making, $1,200 a month more than you were. So it's not all, you still have more disposable income.
Okay.
The court pulls the curtain back. Policies, overnights, income assumptions, things most parents don't even know, exist suddenly matter more than intentions. This is the moment where you see how the system thinks, why judges focus on structure, and how easily parenting time can outweigh personal hardship.
I don't know. Ms. Hergenreder isn't here. Do you know if what her thoughts were on the support obligation? Did you talk to her about it at all or not?
We have not, she never brought it up to me. I didn't bring it up to her. I just felt it was better just to save it for the court and not kind of get into any sort of out of court legalities.
Yeah, she would have gotten the same paperwork that you got and been
Right.
notified to appear. She does have the kids on Medicaid and food assistance, so the income in her house is low enough where she qualifies for those things. And that usually triggers a requirement that the court follow the recommendation from the child support guideline and setting support. I could adjourn this a little bit. I guess if you want to take some time and talk to her about it and see if you guys can come up with a different parenting time schedule, and the parenting time overnights could be updated based on that agreement. Like you said, there's no parenting time order, so I'm just going based on what you guys say and based on what it was calculated at before. But I mean, if the two of you even agreed on you having every other weekend throughout the school year and half the summer and half the holidays, like the reasonable parenting time says, that, I mean, that's twice as many overnights. I guess just having real quick, just plug in 102 overnights and see what that does to the bottom line, as they say.
So that would reduce support to a total of 847 a month.
Also, doesn't do a lot, huh? Takes it down about $80 a month.
Yeah, I mean, there's a huge difference between mom's income and dad's. She reports $13 an hour for 18 hours a week. So I ran her at that. Then I added 22 hours of minimum wage so that she had a total of 40, because she had no indication of why she didn't work full time.
Okay, so you did use a full-time work week, but it was split between those two wages?
Yeah, I mean, I could run it at 13 if you think that's appropriate, but I don't know.
Where does she work at? Where does she work, sir?
I honestly do not know. I know she drops off my boys at her ex's mom's house on Fridays, and then I pick them up from there Saturday morning when I wake up. And so she works somewhere out here in Grand Rapids. I think it's some kind of home health care thing, but I don't know because I just don't ask. I don't want to get in her business. We usually only talk if it's related to the children.
Yeah, she's an in-home healthcare worker.
Yeah, I would run her at the 13 an hour for the 40 hours at the very least, but that's the reported wage. Without her testimony as to whether more hours are available at that rate or what the reasons are for not working more hours, I would certainly run her at the wage that she earns at full time. See what that does.
Not a lot. 828 is the total support.
All right, so I guess that's about $100, sir. But unless you, yeah, I don't know. I guess it's the income. The amount of time. I guess if you've had this job for a while, you've been paying a lesser amount for some period of time when you were making, the higher wage. And we don't go back in time usually and change support. We change it effective the date that the review was initiated or a motion was filed. So.
Okay.
All right, but I'll use that figure with the running mom at her full time at her wage, $828 per month, and
That is with 102 overnights. Do you want it back?
no, we got to use the 53 overnights.
Yeah.
At this point. If you
I
change
forgot.
if you change the overnights, I'll rerun it based on the overnights. But
so 912 is the total.
All right, so that's not a whole lot different. But I don't know, I'll go with that amount at this point, but if, I guess you can save another 80 a month, if you can bump those overnights up by agreement, or if you don't agree, if she doesn't agree, you can file a parenting time motion. And, you can explain to me why you feel like you should have more time, and, you know, I don't tip my hand or make any guarantees, but I'll certainly listen to what you both have to say and make a decision that's in your kid's best interest based on that if you file a motion for parenting time. All right?
Correct. Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, I'll go with this 912 per month at this point. What's the effective date, Ms. Evan?
May 1st.
May 1st. Okay. All right. Anything else today, sir?
No, sir. Thank you so much.
All right, you bet. We should be all set.
Thank you.
The final amount, the future options, and the reality that comes with a ruling. Whether you agree or not, this ending shows why understanding the system matters before you're standing in front of it. If this situation feels fair or unfair to you, drop your thoughts in the comments. Should parenting time matter more than income? Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you in the next video.